2 killed in farmers-herders clash in Jigawa. Court quashes order barring Nwemule 24 orders from parading as lawmakers. 4 kidnappers bag 40 years imprisonment over kidnap of ex-commissioner in Bayelsa. Another foreign scene, 21 killed in Mali wedding attack. Hello, welcome to News Update. I am Lillian Ogazi. And now to the news. The Jigawa State Police Command has confirmed a violent clash between farmers and herders in Birinkudu local government area, resulting in 2 fatalities, burning of 3 houses and the arrest of 5 persons. Eyewitness reported that herders from Katsina State invited by local counterparts entered the area with a large herd of cattle, damaging farmlands in their path. This provoked a confrontation with local farmers who mobilized to protect their land and livelihoods. The public relations officer for the command, DSP Lawan Shizu Adam, said the police, alongside the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps and the Vigilante Group of Nigeria, swiftly responded to the scene and dispersed the warring parties and recovered 15 abandoned cows. He said the clash resulted in the loss of 2 lives, 1 from each group, and the destruction of 3 houses belonging to the indigenous herders. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has nullified the expulsion of Martin Amewule and 24 orders from the Rivers State House of Assembly by the Rivers State High Court. The 3-member panel of the appellate court held that the lower court lacked the jurisdiction to grant the expurgatory order. The court held that Section 272 of the Constitution gives the Federal High Court powers to determine whether the seat of a House of Assembly member has become vacant. It held that the Federal High Court has the exclusive jurisdiction to determine if the seats have become vacant. Now, according to the court, the express mention of the Federal High Court in Section 272 of the Constitution automatically excludes all state high courts from having the jurisdiction. The appellate court held that the expurgatory order, having been made without jurisdiction, is null and void. The Edo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party on Thursday reacted to the nullification of the party's governorship election, insisting that Asu Ighodalo is its flag bearer. Justice Iyange Kwo of the Federal High Court in Abuja avoided the February 24 election that produced Ighodalo on the ground that 378 delegates who were supposed to vote at the primary election were unlawfully excluded by PDP. But the party insisted that the Lagos-based lawyer remains its flag bearer ahead of the September 21st governorship election in Edo State. Now, in a statement, the Edo State PDP chairman, Dr. Tony Azegbemi, said the candidature of Asu Ighodalo as the flag bearer of the party for the 2024 elections remains intact, insisting that the judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja did not in any way affect the candidature of Ighodalo. Ahead of Ondo and Edo governorship election, civil society organization has called on INEC to ensure the integrity of the poll by deploying beavers to avoid a repeat of what happened at the last Kogi governorship election. The group, in a procession to the Ministry of Justice and National Assembly, wants the 2 institutions, which are bastion of democracy, to help deepen democratic process in the country.
Madam, we are here to remind you of the oath of your office, to stand and uphold the rule of law, and you are our only hope. We don't have any hope anywhere. We don't have anything to do on our own. And as children that cannot do anything, they always cry to their father. And we are here to cry to the father of the nation, that is the Ministry of Justice, the bedrock of our constitution, that please come and save Nigeria. Madam, we are here because 2022 electoral bills made it clear in section 64 subsection 4 make beavers compulsory and make beavers only the hope of the common man. In 2023, madam, a lot of us came into the electoral space because of beavers and because of the electoral bill. 2022 electoral bill, it put to work will be the best electoral system in Nigeria. That even in the whole world.
Moving over to Bayelsa State, where a high court sitting at Obia Town in Obia local government area has sentenced 4 kidnappers to 40 years each in prison. The 4 kidnappers were involved in the abduction of the former Commissioner for Trade and Investment in the state, Federal Otokito, from Otuokpoti in Obia local government in Igbomotoro Bush in Southern Ijaw local government in 2022 and demanded ransom before his release. The presiding judge, Justice S.W. Amadu Oboga, while delivering the judgment on Thursday, declared Kingsley Ogbesi 24, Joshua Abi 32, Gibbs Damene 38, and Powell Inegite 36 guilty as charged on conspiracy, kidnapping, and unlawful possession of firearms. The convicted persons were arrested by operatives of the Operation Puff Adder of the Nigerian Police Force and arraigned in court for offences bordering on conspiracy, kidnapping, and unlawful possession of firearms. Justice S.W. Amadu Oboga, after hearing from the Police Prosecution Council and the Defense Council, declared that the investigative and prosecution team have done due diligence and proved beyond reasonable doubt the case of conspiracy, kidnapping, and unlawful possession of firearms against the convicts. Some members of the Tuokpoti community, where the former commissioner hails from in Obia local government, commended the Bayelsa Police Command, particularly the operatives of the Operation Puff Adder, for the diligent investigation and prosecution. Justice Amina Adamu Aliyu has ordered counsels in the ongoing Kano Emirate tussle case holding at the State High Court sitting at Adobako Secretariat to stop granting media interviews. The presiding judge gave the order this Thursday during the proceedings on the controversial suits before her. The presiding judge had gone on recess to give a ruling on the issue. Recall that the applicants are the Attorney General of Kano State, Speaker, Kano State House of Assembly, and Kano State House of Assembly through their counsel Ibrahim Issa Wangida, Esquire, filed a motion experte dated May 27th. The applicants are seeking the court to restrain Aminu Adubayaru and 4 other dethroned emirs of Bichi, Rano, Gaya, and Karaye from parading themselves as emirs. The respondents are Aminu Adubayaru, the emirs of Bichi, Karaye, Rano, and that of Gaya, as well as the Inspector General of Police, Director State Security Service, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and the Nigerian Army. Justice Emeka Wite of the Federal High Court Abuja has ordered the closure of 2 companies linked to James Nolan, a British national facing trial over his involvement in the Process and Industrial Developments Limited fraud. In 2 separate judgments, Justice Donatus Okorowo held that the 2 companies were found guilty of money laundering offences. He consequently ordered that the companies be wound up and their assets forfeited to the federal government. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) is prosecuting Trinity Biotech Nigeria Limited and Nolan. The commission is also prosecuting Resort Express Concepts Nigeria Limited and Corrado Fantoli as the first and second defendants. Fantoli, an associate of Nolan, was one of the suspects behind the alleged $9.6 billion P&ID fraud. The suspect, said to be at large alongside the company, was arraigned in absentia on November 25, 2022 on an 8-count money laundering charge. The management of Tai Solarin University of Education Ijebu-Ode in Ogun State has suspended the school's ongoing second semester examination indefinitely. The decision was taken following Wednesday's killing of a final year student identified as Olaoye Fabiyi, alleged by suspected cultists. Reports say Fabiyi was dragged out of the examination hall while writing his final exam papers by some unidentified men. A source who witnessed the incident said the armed men dragged him to a corner where they shot at him and hit him with a brick on the head. The acting president of the Student Union, Bethel Olorunfumi, also confirmed his death on Wednesday, stating that efforts to rescue the victim by medical staff at an unspecified general hospital proved abortive. Now, in a statement released on Thursday, the school's deputy registrar, Babatunde Odugbeshon, said all examinations on the campus have been suspended indefinitely, while the spokesperson for the Ogun State Police Command, Omolola Odutola, disclosed on Wednesday that the command had begun an investigation and launched raids on suspected cultist hideouts in the area. The Adamawa State Government is set to begin second phase of selecting outstanding female secondary school graduates who have scored 9 credits and above for scholarship enrollment. Governor Ahmadu Fintiri announced the directive during a meeting with parents of female students who benefited from the first special scholarship scheme initiated by his administration. Expressing his commitment to the development of education in the state, particularly for female students, Governor Fintiri highlighted the importance of educating the girl child. He affirmed that the scholarship program will now be a continuous project, ensuring that all qualified students can benefit from this opportunity.
So acting ES, I'm still directing you, this is for last year. You quickly commence the selection for those that have finished this year. I'm not pronouncing it as a policy that it should be a continuous program. Any female students that gets 9 credit and above, even if they are 20,000, we will sponsor them. The state will not bleed. Our infrastructure drive will not suffer. Our human capital development will not suffer because we are training our future generation.
The management of the University of Benin on Thursday suspended academic activities indefinitely and ordered students to vacate their hostels immediately. This was contained in a statement on Thursday by the institution's public relations officer, Benedicta Ehanire, who said the unrealistic demands of students necessitated the action of the management. The students who protested on Wednesday over the rationing of electricity, among other grievances, blocked the Benin-Ore highway, causing gridlock and untold hardship to commuters. Some of the students on Wednesday said they would not leave the highway until their demands were met. However, the Senate of the institution at a meeting on Wednesday said the school would be shut down if the talks with the students fail. The BEDC PLC recently disconnected the institution as a result of a 250 million naira bill slammed on the institution by the electricity company. The institution, which was formerly paying 80 million, has not been able to afford the new bill, leading to a blackout in the school. This is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Coming up, residents justify preference for POS over ATMs. More news when we return. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Let's take a look at our headline stories again. 2 killed in farmers' herders clash in Jigawa. Court quashes order, barring Amewule and 24 orders from parading as lawmakers. Now moving on, the Oyo State government has declared Monday, July 8, 2024 as a work-free day in commemoration of the Islamic New Year Hiraj 1446 AH. In a statement signed by the Commissioner for Information, Prince Dotun Oyelade, the state government acknowledged the significance of Hijrah in the lives of its Muslim residents. The Commissioner emphasized that the day is a gesture of respect and solidarity with the Muslim community. He called on all residents to use the occasion to pray for peace, unity, and prosperity in Oyo State and Nigeria. Oyelade urged everyone to reflect on the teachings and to come together in the spirit of solidarity and brotherhood. Residents of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, have been speaking on their preference for point-of-sale transactions over automated teller machines, ATMs. This follows the proliferation of the POS points and the rise in their patronage over ATMs, despite the charges involved. Noel Sampson has more.
A cross-section of FCT residents gave various reasons for prioritizing POS machine over ATMs.
One, because the closeness to you. That was one. Two, I think it's not more stressful as bank.
Number one reason would be because of the ease of getting access to POS than ATM. You know, I think in time past, if you go to the ATM, you have to queue and wait for maybe hours for you to be able to access your funds. But with POS, you can easily, walk out of your door and get whatever cash you need for the day.
I think POS is more better in terms of network and other things, and the charges.
Do ATM charge?
Most times ATM charge. You see sometimes they will debit you without you knowing what the reason why they debited you or stuff like that, and it's more preferable. You won't have anybody to blame or stuff like that, so you will just go to the person you want to do the POS with, then you beat the price, then you talk about it, and everything is sharp.
After the transaction, if the person don't really give me the cash, I feel hold on for next immediately there. He go give you the money immediately for there. But if you go for ATM now, before you know the next thing, in fact, if you swallow your ATM card, sir, the next thing they will say you have to bring passport, bring ID card, all this and that before they will even give you your this thing.
Ezekiel Smart, a POS operator, gives us a hint on how they deal with network glitches.
We have a platform which once you just make a complaint, they can just reply with an immediate effect. Like we have active customer cares that are online, that are on the platform. So once an agent make a complaint, they answer us very fast than going to the bank.
A financial expert spoke on issues like charges, security, as well as glitches on both platforms, which may sway users to any of them.
As of 2022, January to December, the total transactions on POS stand at 41 trillion. So the POS system is getting this acceptability from Nigerians than the normal conventional ATM. Then when you look at it, why Nigerians consider using POS system the more than the normal conventional ATM? There are lots of factors. Now let's talk of the accessibility. Okay, you walking out from your house, probably beside your house or the trunk from your house, you see a POS system, right, where you can just walk in, do your transactions, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, you're done. The convenience is there. Unlike the total number of ATMs we have in this country is 22,600. And this 22,600 ATMs is owned by 70% owned by 7 commercial banks. So the scarcity of ATMs is there. While we have about 1.8 million POS system spread across the country, that makes the accessibility easier for Nigerians.
With the increase in digital forms of payments, many say that cash may soon become obsolete, and by applications, ATM machines. Well, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Stakeholders from Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states have held a risk hazard contingency planning workshop in Maiduguri to develop a response and preparation plans ahead of like flood this rainy season. This followed predictions from that flooding may be witnessed in 31 states across the country. Trust TV's Beatrice Kurutsi has more.
During the floods of 2022, more than 600 died, while 4.4 million people were affected, with houses submerged and properties destroyed. It is predicted that 31 states will experience floods and heavy rainfalls, with Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states named among states that will be affected. The waters may cause disease outbreaks such as malaria, cholera, among others. It is against this backdrop that UNICEF and its partners across the Bay States agreed to develop an action plan to avert the expected risks in communities prone to flood in the Northeast.
We know that in the Bay States there are major risks in various communities related to what I was referring to, such as flooding or outbreaks. And so we want to, through this, we want to have a community, we would like to support the government in have communities better prepared and in the long run eventually more resilient to shocks.
If you have noticed, the state governments have been desilting their drainages. They have been making up the various outfalls in the various locations that have experienced these floodings to make sure that the outfalls are in good condition and they have also been with us in sensitizing the various traditional rulers and religious leaders, because we can't do it all. There are locations that are on the main roads, and there are some locations that are hidden. We tell them the dangers of putting waste in most of these drainages.
The contingency plan, after being drafted, will be integrated with the national contingency plans for stakeholders to be on the same page when the disaster happens, so that communities won't be adversely affected. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
And now to the foreign scene. An armed group on Wednesday attacked a wedding ceremony in central Mali, killing at least 21 people, residents said, as the West African country's military rulers battles growing violence by extremists. The attackers rode on motorcycles into the village of Jimbumbo in the town of Bandiagara on Monday evening as residents were celebrating a wedding. According to Bakari Gundo, president of the local youth group, according to Indo, most of the victims had their throats slit. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but it is a continuation of attacks by the Al-Qaeda-linked extremist group JIM, which has often targeted the area. Nearly 4 years after taking part in the departure of foreign peacekeepers, Mali's military rulers have had little success in containing the violence. Meanwhile, a 2015 peace deal with Tuareg rebels operating in the north of the country has collapsed, deepening the security crisis. Meanwhile, in Tunisia's leader has scheduled the next presidential election for October, but did not say if he will seek a second term after 5 years at the head of the North African nation, once seen as a model of democracy for the Arab world. President Kais Saied set October 6 for the election in a decree issued late Tuesday, according to a statement from the presidency. His first term ends on October 23rd, and the election will be voters' first chance to evaluate Said's tenure amid economic crisis and a drift into the authoritarianism. Said ran in 2019 on a populist anti-corruption platform that energized Tunisians' delusion with party politics and economic stagnation following the Arab Spring pro-democracy protests that in 2011 toppled the country's longtime dictator. However, Said reversed some of Tunisia's democratic gains, rewriting the constitution to consolidate his power and jailing critics, including from the largest political party. Analysts expect he will run for a second term, 5-year term, given that the new constitution grants him full powers. And in sports, 3-time champions and 5-time runners-up Nigeria will know their opponent for the qualification race of the 35th African Cup of Nations finals when the draw is conducted in Johannesburg, South Africa on Thursday. The draw ceremony, built to hold inside the Super Sports Studio in South Africa's commercial and economic capital, will serve the 48 countries into 12 groups of 4 teams each, with top 2 teams in 11 of the groups qualifying directly to the finals. Already scheduled for 21st December 2025 and 18th January 2026. The 12th group, which has host nation Morocco, will see its qualifying no matter the position in which they finish alongside one other team. The qualifying matches will be played over the FIFA window of September, October, and November this year. All of Nigeria's opponents in the ongoing 2026 FIFA Cup qualifying race, namely Benin Republic, Lesotho, Rwanda, South Africa, and Zimbabwe, are all in Thursday's draw. African Soccer Governing Body is participating clubs in the 2024-2025 inter-club competitions until July 2024 to complete the registration of their players for the preliminary round of the competitions. The winner of the Nigerian Premier Football League, Rangers International of Enugu, and Remo Stars will represent Nigeria in the Champions League. Enyimba International and the newly crowned Federation Cup champions El Kanemi Warriors will play in the Confederation Cup. CAF made it clear that clubs must register their players around that period, insisting that there will be no extension to the date. The preliminary round of competition is scheduled to take place in August 2024. With that, we've come to the end of News Update here on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all our social media platforms for more news programs and documentaries. Thanks for watching. I am Lilian Ogazi.